All right, so you started working out, you started fixing your diet, and you're wondering, where do I rank? So here's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna talk about the averages for fitness and strength, waist size, arm size. Where do you rank, and does it matter? What do these tell you about your longevity and health? We're gonna get into it. Let's go.
I feel like we failed the hang test, so Sal went on a fucking.
We're gonna look at other.
Looking for. Yeah, he's like, I know there's some things that we're gonna be good at.
Statistics that we're crushing it.
Let's go find some we're good at.
That's not what happens. No, you know what? No, I actually saw a post on social media of like the average arm size, and that piqued my interest. And I said, what are the averages that are out there? What does the best data show? Now, some of the data is on the average person, and some of the data is on the average person that exercises. So it's not all 100% clear. And I also tried to see how it connected to things like longevity. Like we've all heard of the grip strength, right? How grip strength is a predictor of all-cause mortality and it's better than others. Waist circumference is another one. Waist circumference is actually better than BMI. I
can see that.
Yeah, so like BMI, generally speaking, is okay, but it doesn't tell you things like lean body mass and strength and stuff like that. So I pulled up a bunch.
Would you even put BMI as okay? I think it's horrible, don't you?
You know what? So it's better than nothing. And the reason why they, which is not bad. Listen, when it comes to predicting all-cause mortality with an easy metric, it's not bad because otherwise you got to do blood tests and stuff. That's why they created BMI to begin with. But BMI is just your weight and your height. And we can see a few things with that correlate to data. But the more athletic you are, the worse it is.
I mean, I feel like BMI works for somebody who doesn't work out at all.
Yep.
Like, so it's an okay measurement if you compared 100 people who don't exercise.
If everybody does nothing.
Yeah. If 100 people don't exercise and you wanted to decide within that 100 group,
that's right,
who is got all cause mortality issues, all the things, right? Like, then it makes some sense. But throw in the mix of those 100 people, 25 people that lift weights, and it just totally skews.
It throws it off. I mean, Justin gets phone calls from his doctor.
So angry.
I mean, we all do. Every one of us fail the BMI scale. You know, and I don't think, which is kind of crazy to me because it's not like I'm walking around like jack bodybuilder vision of me, but you don't even have to have that much. You just have to have a little bit more than the average person.
That's right. If you're just an athlete, you don't have to lift weights that much. If you're just
use your eyes. You know, I hope doctors can use their eyes and not just look at a stat sheet.
Yeah, well, strength.
You think that's happened?
Yes, they didn't even look up. I swear to God, it was just like look at all the stats. Yeah, looking at like blood pressure, looking at all these like metrics, but to even like really like visibly assess me.
Yeah, I had one doctor, actually personally had a doctor, not a client, but a doctor I went to who was a fitness enthusiast, and he was the first doctor to like say this to me. And he's like, "Yeah, BMI." He's like, for guys like you, I throw that out the window. It doesn't mean anything because you're obviously heavier than the average, but I work out myself. I'm looking at you. I could tell you're not obese or anything like that. So throw out the window. Strength is a better predictor, and they use grip strength. By the way, I want to be clear with this. Grip, there's nothing special about grip strength because what's happening, because all these studies are coming out and all these headlines are coming out showing that it's just wonderful predictor of longevity.
It's just how much like force you can produce, like on command.
It is, but it's a proxy for overall body strength. So what's happened is people are seeing these headlines. So now you're having all these elderly people who are not being active and they're at home just strengthening their grip to try to improve longevity. So really, grip strength is a good predictor because it tells us if your whole body's strong. Right. But if you're like sedentary and you're on your couch and you're doing nothing except just working your grip and your grip gets stronger, you'll improve your longevity skewed. Probably a couple percent if you're lucky. But the rest of you is
like a fraction of a percent.
Yeah, so we have to be clear on kind of what these things kind of mean. So I'll pull up some of the first ones. Right. You guys tell me what you think the averages are, and then we'll get into it. And I started with bicep size. I don't think this one's connected much to longevity. I couldn't find any data that says how big your arm is would be connected to longevity. But I would guess on the small end, probably worse longevity, and on the very large end, also
the
not
Rich
great.
Piana kind of end, right?
Yes, like you get giant arms. Even if they're muscular, you're probably not doing things that are too healthy as well. But I have the average bicep size for men and for women in inches. What do you guys think it is? Okay. First off, what age group do you think the peak of a bicep size is for men? What
for men?
Group? Yeah.
Oh, 30 something?
Close. It's actually
25.
It's between 30 and 49.
Okay,
is
I
when
would
the
say
arms
higher.
are.
Yeah, I would say higher for
higher.
sure.
Yeah, and it's close to 14 inches. So a bicep, a flexed arm at around 14
Is average?
Is average for a guy. So if your arm is like 15 or 16, especially if it's lean, you're muscular.
Yeah.
You're a pretty muscular guy.
Okay, that's cool.
And if it's above that, you're starting to get a bodybuilder, 17, 18, type of deal.
Mm-hmm.
For women, average bicep size in that age group, right? That's where the arm is kind of the biggest.
11,
it's close to 13.
Oh, 13.
So about an inch smaller than the men. By the way, what's interesting?
Not as much as I would have thought. I would have thought that it would be
2 inches smaller.
Yeah, I would have thought it would be a lot smaller.
Me too. Now, what you see is a big discrepancy when men and women lift weights. Then men just add a lot of muscle to their arms, whereas women also do, but they don't add nearly as much.
Got it.
But still, an inch of untrained, bicep is a pretty big difference on that. Then I pulled up waist size. So waist size is good because waist size is a better predictor of all-cause mortality than
I would think waist
BMI.
I was gonna say waist would be even better than BMI. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What do you guys think is considered average in men and average in women? By the way, the way you measure your waist is right at the belly button.
Yeah.
Average for men, 34 to 36.
God, really close.
Wow.
Yeah. It's actually 35 to 42 is the range.
Oh, that's a long range.
It is a pretty big range.
Yeah.
And for women, it's 32 to 40. Small in men is below 35, and small in women is below 32. Over 42.
In this case, though, being smaller would be better health indicators, right?
Typically, because
whereas the bicep is more, you want to be somewhere probably in the middle than to be way on the ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Where waist, I would think that unless you're really
emaciated or something like that, it's actually not a bad predictor of all-cause mortality. It's better than BMI.
Now, was that flexing or is that just
flexing?
Okay.
Yeah, for the arm one.
Yeah.
You're just doing the numbers right now.
Yeah, just making sure.
You ever measure your arm? I don't think you
time
ever.
ago.
You did.
Yeah.
I think when we all worked together at one point, we did.
Yeah, I was just
like
curious. Yeah, I did the whole circumference measurement.
I mean, I think when I did when I was like 17 also. 17 and then one other time in like my mid to late 20s, but I really didn't.
Yeah, it was at my peak.
You know what I think I told you this before, just threw it all, you talk about throwing something out the window once you figure something out. I remember leaning out, losing weight, having smaller arms, like significantly smaller arms, and people thinking that my arms were the biggest they'd ever been. And then after that, I was like, oh, okay, it's not about technically how many inches I have on it, but if they're more separated and defined, people are going to think they're way bigger anyways, which obviously is the look I was going for.
That's right.
So
it was funny because it was mainly my tricep, I think, that made up the majority of that. Because the bicep was never really that crazy peak.
Well, tricep makes up like 2/3 of the arm, of the upper arm anyway. But yeah, no, to that point, Adam, my wife, anytime I get like a couple percent leaner, because I'll fluctuate with my body fat percentage. Every time I get a little leaner, my wife's like, you look way bigger. What are you doing? And I'm like, I lost 5 pounds.
Katrina says the exact same thing too. Why do you look like? I'm like, it's just because literally I've leaned out a little bit. I cleaned up the diet. I cleaned up the diet a little bit back into my routine. That's all it is. I'm not getting bigger.
Now, here's what's interesting with the waist circumference. What you see is it goes up and up and up, and then it drops. Once people hit around 70, you see a loss in waist circumference. I think that's more indicative of your wasting away than it is that so there's a case where your waist size will go down, but your health probably isn't as good. But it is a better predictor of mortality because I think when you're measuring your waist, you're measuring body fat and you're measuring visceral body fat. And visceral body fat in the abdomen area, I think that can be indicative of like visceral body fat on the organs, essentially. And with women, you see a significant change right around menopause is where you start to see that change as the fat distribution changes. Now I have grip strength in both men and in women. Any guesses to what the averages are? So again, there's not a great amount of data on this.
Tell me how it's measured first.
So it's a dynamometer.
Okay.
Dominant hand. Squeeze it as hard as you can.
What's the numbers? I don't even know what those numbers. What is it? Is it?
So I'll tell you what mine was. Mine's higher than the average, and I squeezed the hardest.
Something.
I hit the top, whatever it was, 199.
Okay, so it's one.
Okay, but that's a lot. That's obviously
yeah. So then higher. I would guess that a normal person is probably a man. I would say is 110, 115.
Close. Yeah, close. About for the dominant hand, around 105 to 110.
Okay.
And it seems to peak in men around 35 to 39. Women aren't that far behind, which is interesting. No, sorry. They are way behind. Sorry, I was looking at the non-dominant men. In women, you're looking at between 62 to 66. Is the average. So if you get,
I was gonna say that.
No, I was looking at the wrong number.
I mean, literally, the reason why I think too. Last night, Katrina woke me up in the middle of the night because when I had taken her bath water and filled it up, and I had squeezed the thing too tight, she couldn't open it. She's like waking me up like 1 in the morning.
Just be the open jar test.
She's trying to get something drinking up like this, you know.
Standard. Yeah.
I love doing that with my wife because she'll like,
Yeah.
And even if it's hard to open, I purposely make it look like it's easy.
Yeah.
So I
always hit it on the top first. Just.
Oh, you do one of those guys?
Yeah.
But so if you get a dynamometer, they're inexpensive. I don't know. Do we sell them, Doug?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do.
What's our store?
Mindpumpstore.com.
So you can buy them. They're inexpensive. You can get them from us. You can get them from Amazon, but we have some good ones.
If you're a trainer and you're listening to this,
super valuable.
And you haven't listened to the interview we did with Joe DeFranco, I don't know if it was the first. It was the first interview.
We have a rad guide that Smitty actually wrote for us that we could throw in there as well, and how to do exactly what you're trying to describe with averaging it out. So you see what your HRV is.
Is it at mindpumpfree.com or is it?
It should be.
So here's how it works. I'll break it down for people.
If not, we can put it up there.
So you get a dynamometer. All that does is it measures your grip strength. Okay. And what you do, so there's something called heart rate variability, which is a pretty good indicator of whether or not you should train hard or train easy. Because sometimes your own perception is off. Like, I feel great, but your CNS is a little fried, you're tired, whatever. And the only way you could tell, or the best way you could tell, is with what's called heart rate variability. But the problem with that is it's a bit complicated to test. You have to be in bed, wake up, test it, and people just don't do this. So what Joe DeFranco did, which is just as accurate, it's really easy, is before your workout, you squeeze a dynamometer as hard as you can, and once you get your average over each workout, when you're above that average, you go hard in your workout. When you're below, you go easy. Regardless of what your mind tells you, what your workout says, this is a better predictor of how you should train appropriately. And if you follow that, you're more likely to train in a way that's going to give you good results because you're not going to overdo it or underdo it.
I mean, we've been doing this for 10 years now, so we've had quite a few aha moments or whatever, but that was definitely up. That's definitely up there with, I'd say, top 3 trainer aha moments for me.
Totally.
Having that was hearing him say that. I'm like, oh my God, nobody ever taught me that.
A system I would have done.
I would have loved to have, and I was always, especially considering I always encourage trainers to separate themselves from their peers. And that would have been a differentiator. Nobody did that.
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't work with one single trainer. All the trainers that worked for me, hundreds at this point in my career, never seen a trainer do that. And I'm like, that is so smart. And would look so awesome.
Imagine doing that as a trainer. Your client comes in before you start, hey, squeeze this as hard as you can. That's all you got to do. And then based off of that number, plus what they tell you, because here's the other thing about being a trainer, you also want to train a client in a way that doesn't make them hate working out, right? So if the client's grip strength is off the charts, but they're like, I feel like going easy, I think I would lean more towards, doing what they feel. But nonetheless, you get both numbers, the number plus their subjective feelings, and they're like, I feel good. Oh, cool. Your grip strength 10% higher than your average. Let's get after it today. Yeah. Or, today we're going to kind of take it easy. I think it's great.
Well, it really helps, highlight to them where they're at. Every day it just fluctuates. It's one of those things that I don't think they realize what kind of stress they're bringing in and they're carrying in when they didn't get good sleep. All these factors definitely add up. And so if you can adjust your intensity for
I think that would be one of the best parts is we always talk about having typical clients have 2 metrics. Scale, mirror.
Yeah.
That they're
the 2 worst.
Yeah, and they are. They're 2. So we're always trying to teach them to connect to stool and skin and energy and sleep and all this stuff.
Right.
So having a tool like this is another great correlate to all these things.
Great.
So it'd be so awesome. It would have been
so start connecting everything.
Yeah, where your client comes in oh yeah, I'm fine, but I only got about 5 hours sleep. They squeeze and you're down 10%.
Yeah.
Notice these patterns, and they can start to connect those patterns. You're like, you know what? Maybe you're
point.
Yeah. I
wonder if our trainers are using the dynamometers with their clients. Are they doing that?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, we've brought it up before, but we should reiterate
We should do it and create the standard.
Yeah.
I really think that would be good.
I mean, if you're if you're listening and you're a trainer in a big box gym
and you're not doing
this is a move.
Easy.
This is a move, right?
Yeah, how much is our dynamometer? $30? I mean, just do it.
Yeah. And And not only that, not only for your own clients and how great it is, professional, all the things that we just talked about, but then also again, like now everybody in the gym like sees you doing that with your client, and they're like, "What is that?" That's such a great conversation starter. And then like you can set up a booth. Now, and you test everybody in the gym. Like now you're getting leads all day long.
What is your test your longevity,
dude?
Test your longevity booth.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yes.
We got to talk about that later.
Well, because sometimes too, you know how it is when you get in your workout and you're like, man, I just don't have it today. What is it? You know, it's like this can kind of like highlight that immediately, especially when you start seeing the averages.
Yeah, that's great. Today's workout program giveaway is MAPS 15. If you want to win, you have to leave a comment below this video in the first 24 hours that we drop it. Also, subscribe to this channel. Also, turn on notifications. That enters you to win. Also, MAPS GLP-1 is half off. This is a workout program, nutrition, supplements, lifestyle. It's all in there for people who are using a GLP-1. So if you're using Wegovy, Ozempic, semaglutide, tirzepatide, you want to get the most out of it. You want to burn the most fat, but keep the muscle. Don't lose the muscle. This is the program for you. Go to mapsglp1.com. Use the code GLP50 for the half off discount.
All right, real quick, if you love us like we love you, why not show it by rocking one of our shirts, hats, mugs, or training gear over at mypumpstore.com. I'm talking right now. Hit pause, head on over to mypumpstore.com. That's it. Enjoy the rest of the show.
All right, next one is mile time. Now, this is based off of people who like to run. Not a lot, but if you've been running, and I read the article, and it was like, if you've been running for at least a month or two already, here's what the numbers are for beginner, beginner, novice, and intermediate. So I got these numbers for both men and women, and I'll use the age 35. Let's go right in the middle.
Men in middle.
So beginner for men running a mile. What do you guys think that is?
8 minutes.
9 minutes and 35 seconds.
Okay, so 8's going to be in the middle of the novice.
About 7:56.
Yeah. Because I know that because I've actually looked that up before, and I've always said like, hey. So I used to encourage this too, I would check in with my mile time, and when I'd see it creep up above 8 again, where it was hard for me to do that was kind of my indicator of like, oh, okay, let's get back to running a mile before I start, and then just get that back down. I was like, knowing that, just keeping myself in that.
That's good.
That range.
That's good. I like that. So for intermediate, about 6:44, which is pretty fast for intermediate. So that's pretty good. For women, again, we'll use that 35-year-old age benchmark. Beginner, 10 minutes and 44 seconds. 9 is in the novice. And then intermediate's about 7:47. I'm actually motivated by reading this to go test my mile. Maybe report it. I don't know what I'll be at.
Well, the cool part about that too, and why it's never really bothered me, is because 7 to 8 minutes of cardio at post-workout or what that is not going to create this major, you're not sending a loud signal to the body to adapt. You're not going to lose muscle. So it's a real easy thing. 7 minutes, it's not a long time to do it and to keep it.
And this is connected to longevity to an extent, right? VO2 max is a great indicator of longevity. And building muscle will always increase VO2 max because you have more capacity. But of course, you can go extreme like that, like me, where I do zero cardiovascular training. So I'd be very curious to see what my mile time is, to see if I fall within those, within those ranges. And then we have push-ups. How many push-ups you should probably be able to do. So what do you guys think for men and for women those numbers look like?
35 for men.
Yeah, so.
Should be 50.
Yeah, but novice is going to be about 20. And then it's going to be about 20 for novice. And then let me see what the numbers go up to. Intermediate, about 40. Advanced, now you're getting above 60. So that would be for men. For women, let me see what that number says up here. I don't know if I agree with this, but let's see. For women, 5 novice, 19 intermediate, advanced 37. That's a lot for women to do.
37?
Yeah, 37, that's a ton. 19 is a lot for novice, but 5 was what they would consider like kind of your novice.
They're not bad. Those aren't
average.
bad numbers.
Not bad. Yeah. And I like putting these out there because we just kind of covered the spectrum of things that you can measure and test on yourself. And they all kind of have, there's a little bit of a checks and balances with this, right? So, you could go in a crazy bulk, increase your grip strength, but your waist circumference went up. Or you're going so hard in strength, you neglect the cardiovascular. Yeah. So now your mile time goes down. So I think it's a nice balanced kind of view of like how you're doing overall with your fitness. And overall, this is the big point here, overall fitness is the best predictor of all-cause mortality. It's better than anything.
Yeah.
Like how fit are you tells you way more about somebody's health than almost anything else that you can measure.
Yeah, I always like to check in on that kind of stuff too, like my movement quality, or like if I could like have the type of stamina to still sprint or do these things while weight training. It's like you kind of get your preferences become the norm.
Totally.
I had a workout this weekend and wanted to bring something up. Just I know that for most of my 20s, I totally lean to like a body part split. And even admittedly, when I'm in a like a routine where I'm really consistent, I tend to move my way back to it because I just enjoy a body part split. Typically, I like two muscle groups, type of workouts. Kind of how I split the body up when I'm in a rhythm. But one of the things I've done as I've gotten older, mid 30s, late 30s, 40s now, is it's almost always full body. And if I do anything that's not full body, it's a half body split, upper, lower, something like that. And I do believe I attribute switching to that as I've gotten older to the maintaining of my muscle mass. And hear me out on this, because I don't know. Out of the four of us, I would think I'm the least consistent. I move in and out of consistency. Admittedly, on the show, I talk all the time about, I'm off, I'm on, I'm off, I'm on. And I don't know how many people that resonates with, that if you never miss a workout in 10 years, then ignore this. But if you're anything like me, where you have these in and out all the time, where you're in a rhythm for a while, then you're not. It's such a disservice to do a body part split. And I was thinking about it yesterday or this weekend when I was getting a lift in, and I was getting a full body lift in. And I'm like, this would be a typical pattern for me. Fall off for a few weeks. Okay, I'm back at the gym. What muscle group am I in? What muscle group I'm starting with? Legs, arms, whatever. And inevitably, when I come back and I focus on one muscle after I've had a layoff of even just a few weeks, the amount of volume for that one muscle is so much more than I need to do to send a signal. And then if what happens, which has happened to me in the past, where it's like, I get back in a rhythm and I only get about 4 workouts and then I fall off again, or I got only 1 workout in and then got busy for that week, and then the next week that pattern has still continued into my 30s and 40s of having these ins and outs of more frequency, sometimes less frequency. And going to a body part split, not only one, do I end up missing some of the other body parts when I fall off, but even 2, the amount of volume that I do on that single body part is so unnecessary when you first get back. Yeah. Like, that's why, and this is just me advocating even more for the full body for the average person listening. I really think that it's a place that you should probably live most of the time. And then maybe when you become the person who's been in a rhythm for 6 months or a year, mess around with maybe body part splits if you really love them as much as I love them. Because it really does a disservice to have a layoff of, say, 2 or 3 weeks, get back in the gym, go to a single body part, do fucking 9 to 12 sets for that one muscle. You fry it.
Barely do anything.
You have to do, you do 3 sets on it. You take a layoff. It's like, okay, I did full body yesterday. I'm like sore as hell. And I only did like 3-4 sets per muscle group. I mean, and you
could have done one.
I could have. Yep. You're right. And literally, that was that was what triggered this. Is like, man, I could have just done 1 set. I think, God, when have I ever come back to a body part split and did 1 or 2 sets of any muscle? I don't do that. No. You try and get right back to I always typically do 3 exercises and 3 to 4 sets, and you go right back to that, and you end up hammering a muscle that does not need that whatsoever, and you overreach.
I would just think, it's so funny you said that. I was having I was thinking about the studies on body part splits versus full body, and what they typically will say when people do, you see like fitness scientists will break them down. It'll say something like, it doesn't make a big difference so long as the total volume is controlled for.
Which so never happens.
Well, not only does it never happen because of consistency, Adam, it also doesn't happen because of fatigue. So let me give you an example. So yesterday I was thinking to myself, I said, you know what I haven't done in years is a classic, Arnold Schwarzenegger's, encyclopedia bodybuilding workout. Okay. So I did 3 body parts, but I did like 20 sets, 15 to 20 sets per body part. So it was a lot of volume. But here's what happens after about set number 10. I'm not lifting much weight because I'm fatigued.
Yeah.
So if I did, let me illustrate this. If I did 21 sets for chest on Monday versus 7 for chest on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, even if I did the exact same exercises, even if I did the identical amount of exercises,
perform them completely differently.
The weight I would use on each exercise would be higher because I'm not so fatigued
Which
each
would
time.
move the volume
Which
up.
means the volume went up.
Yeah.
So the volume is never controlled when you're doing these kind of workouts. Now in the lab, they're going to make you control. No, same weight, same whatever.
That's why it's a stupid study.
That's why full body splits tend to produce better results.
This is another example of the stuff when we get with these, kids that read the studies and then they've trained 10 people in their life. It's like, it never works out that way.
No, it doesn't.
It never works out.
Everything is not controlled.
Yeah, so it's really tough to be the kid who gets on the internet and says like, based off of this study, this is superior to that. Well, it's like, okay, in a controlled lab where they told these 50 people and these 50 people do the exact same thing, but now let's throw life in there and go, what normally happens, and factor that part in. And that's my point of this conversation right now is I understand that it's pretty equal in a lab, body part splits, but that never works out that way. No. In fact, I would think less people are like you that never miss a workout. More people are probably like me, where they're in rhythm sometimes, they're off for a while, life happens, then they get motivated, they have a couple workouts in a row, and then shit, they fall off again. And then that's a lot of my life of training. And in my 20s, what that looked like is I come back and the how I modified in my 20s was early on, it was like always started with arms. And then I realized how stupid that was for a long time, right? It's like, so I ended up developing these great arms in my early 20s and totally neglected legs because legs were always the last part of my workout. And then it became like, okay, I really need to focus legs. So then I'd start legs. But the same stuff was happening was sometimes I'd only get day 1, day 2, and then stuff happened. And then I'd get pushed back. And it's like, and not only am I over or not hitting the muscles that I missed because I kind of fell off again, but what I was really thinking about yesterday was just how much I was overreaching when I first get started back too. That was unnecessary. It's like unnecessary volume, unnecessary intensity to send the signal to build and gain. Like that's wasted volume. Yep. Like it would be so better.
It's not just wasted, it's detrimental.
It is. Yep. It's wasteful and detrimental. That's right. And so it's like forever that's changed for me. So for me, like I love body part splits. But I tell myself I have to earn the right to do a body part split. It's like you, Adam, you haven't been.
Yeah, if you never miss a workout, you're super consistent.
Yes.
Your body requires at that point a lot of volume because now you're so trained.
Yes.
Right.
By all means, have fun with it. I'm not going to tell you can't do a body part split because we know what the studies say. In a perfect lab, yes. But are you you ask yourself, are you like that? Or are you more like me where you have rhythms and you're in and out? And so for me, the mentality that I've had now is like, I love body part splits. But Adam, you haven't even strung 6 weeks straight together of no missing workouts. So how about I stick to my full bodies, do the minimal amount of volume required to send the loudest signal to build muscle, earn the right to go like, okay, I'm in a zone now. This is month 3, haven't missed any workouts. Let's move that program over to a body part split.
Adam, even though for being consistent, like I said, if I did 7 sets of bench press, 7 sets of incline press, 7 sets of flies, all in one workout, by the time I get to my 8th set, like I am weaker in every exercise, and that's just because of fatigue. If I did 7 sets of bench on Monday, 7 sets of incline press on Wednesday, 7 sets of flies on Friday, because I'm not as fatigued, I'm going to lift more weight. So guess what happens? More volume.
Yes.
So the volume is never controlled.
I know.
Because the fatigue always plays a role, even if you're super, super consistent. This is why full body workouts, again, produce the best results in most people across the board.
And I'm so with you on this. And it's coming from somebody who likes body part splits.
Of course.
And so
they're fun.
I know that there's this case that we always make too, like, oh, if you love it and that gets you consistent, well, that trumps it. But it's like, agreed. But there still is a way better pathway even to your body part splits. And so that's the argument I wanted to make today. Is like, hey, and the reason why I say that is because it's still so rare for me to see full body trainees. We still are all training like bros. We all, I mean, not. I know it's an overgeneralization, but you walk in a gym and what would you say, 80%?
Well, the whole gym's organized that way. You got chest stuff over here, back stuff over here.
Yeah, segmented like that. Yeah.
Yep.
You rarely see people doing full body routines, and I'm just telling you that. Even to your argument, even if you're an advanced, consistent lifter, you're probably better off doing that.
That's right.
I'm saying. If
add real life into it.
Yeah. If for sure you're anything like me,
way better.
Way better and what I've recognized, it was an amazing epiphany for me because I've had probably more inconsistency in my late 30s and 40s than I definitely did in my early 30s. Obviously, I was at like peak training those times, and even in my 20s. Yet I've been able to maintain a better physique relative
in the context
to
of how much you're
relative.
doing.
Like I'm not by any means trying to say that my physique today competes with peak Adam at 33, but when I look at overall volume and training consistency that I'm doing right now, I would consider myself in some of the most inconsistent times in my life, yet I'm able to maintain a real, and I attribute a lot of that to the
facts. And in fact, if you're advanced and you're starting to scale down your training for whatever reason, 2 full body workouts will maintain probably most of your gains. 2 full body workouts, that's it. And this is for the advanced person who's cutting way down. So, by the way, speaking of recovery and all this stuff, I have people ask me all the time, peptide questions because I've used all of them, and I have a lot of experience with all of them. Yeah. And I gotta say, like, peptides have tremendous value depending on their application, but there's a combination that is the best by far. It's actually profoundly effective across the board, and I notice it not just because these are the peptides I'm about to mention are for healing and recovery. And they're remarkable for that. But I notice them for muscle growth, fat loss, just the way my body looks and feels. And that's it's called pentadecaarginate. This is a version of BPC 157. So it's BPC 157 with an arginate salt, which makes it a little bit more stable. So that's what they use now. That in combination with thymosin beta. Using those together, I could 100% tell a big difference in the way that my body responds, looks, feels from that combination right there. So if someone's curious about using peptides, and they're great for healing injuries, that's what they originally were used for. But even if you don't have an injury, you combine those two for a 3-4 month period, like so notice.
You're saying it almost like it had an anabolic effect
100%.
Just because
100%.
The healing process, it goes right into the recovery.
Oh yeah, I get a different look to my body. I get more of a quality look to my muscles. And then if you add GHKCU, GHKCU would be in that kind of category, more for skin. Now it's like cherry on top. And those 3 right there is like, I think that is, I was just talking to my buddy who just finished competing. I won't say his name, so I don't know if he wants me to share this, but he just competed. And for the first time in his life, and I remember this is someone who's competed for years, and they've used all the stuff, including anabolic steroids. And the difference they said that those peptides made in their just in the way their body looked, recovery, all stuff was just like remarkable.
I know who you're talking about. Did he win? He looked really good.
No. But he ranked pretty well. God, and he's also older.
Does that not show you how crazy competitive it's gotten?
Very competitive.
I mean, he looked amazing. I know who you're talking about, and he looks so good. I mean, he always looks good. He's looked good.
It's actually looked, in my opinion, better than I've seen him.
Yeah, I think so too.
He said the peptides made a big difference.
Yeah, he looked. I saw his photos, and I went, dude, he looks amazing.
And he's
competing in classic now, right?
He used lower doses of anabolics.
I was always trying to tell him that. Yeah. I experimented that personally myself, and now I get it though. Everybody is different, so because I do have buddies that respond well to higher doses. Personally, for myself though, it was almost the lower the dose, the better I felt. Yeah, low enough to where you're putting me in a little bit superficial numbers, but not crazy, pro bodybuilder huge stacks that you hear about. Like I noticed a huge difference.
Speaking of which, the one I mentioned, GHKCU for skin, it boosts collagen production so significantly. But one of the things that people are turned off by with peptides, understandably, is that you inject them. So you inject them with an insulin needle right under the skin. It's a tiny little thing. But GHKCU is efficacious topically. So like our partners at our Luminos by Intera, they have a cream that you put on your face, very high dose of GHKCU, and it works on the skin, and it boosts collagen production like 70%.
I love that.
And then if you want the injectable peptides, MP hormones, that's where the doctor.
You know what's funny is I don't, and maybe it's because I'm not consistent enough, and I'm very consistent with the topical. I notice better benefits for the topical, but it could also, admittedly, it could be because I don't
inject every day.
Yes. Yep. Where I'll do the cream twice a day.
Yep.
I mean,
same here.
Yeah. Every time I shower.
Do you put it on your head too?
All my psoriasis everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I love it. So does Katrina. I mean, like we go through those bottles faster than I would like because the two of us are using it.
But again, if you want like peptides, the injectable versions, you want to go all the way, mphormones.com these are doctors, and these are peptides made in pharmacies, not research labs.
So funny you went to this way in this conversation. This was in the ride in the car last night from the comedy show. The group I was with was asking all these questions, and I was telling them the exact same stat because they were like, they're naming all these stuff. I'm like, listen, these are the ones that are like
make the big difference.
Made the big difference. I said, I mean, not to say, I mean, you could try their stuff. They all work. They all do different things, but like you want to see a difference. Like nothing compares to those. And they're like, yeah, but where do you get it? I'm like, bro, you know that we work, mpehormones.com is like that. All of them were just like, oh, I didn't even know that. I'm like,
They didn't know that?
No, yeah. And you know what friends they were, dudes, our close friends. I'm like, oh my God. Sometimes. But some of that makes me happy because then it makes me feel like it's not like we're running out there like pushing it on people and trying to do it. So it's like it's there. Like if you want a reliable source, a trusted source for that stuff, you guys can.
Dude, I have a for me at least, it's a paradigm shattering shift in how I see things.
Really?
Yes. And my wife brought it to me, and I kind of knew this, but she really illustrated it well. And I think whether you're religious or not, it doesn't matter. I think you don't have to be, but this I think will shift your paradigm to the point where it will change the way you see the world. Okay. So one of the hardest questions that people who have faith get asked is if there's really a God, why is there so much suffering? Why is there so much bad stuff?
Always.
The real question is not that. So here's what I'll pose to you. If I picked up a bunch of rocks and threw them in the air, we would 100% expect them to just fall on the floor and scatter. They would not self-organize. I wouldn't throw rocks in the air and it turns into like a house. Nothing works that way, right? So the real question is not why is there bad and why is there suffering and why is there all this terrible stuff happening? The real question is why is there order and why is there good? That is the real question, because that's the weird part. Why is there good at all? Because our nature is to think that
the animal instinct is to conquer, kill, whatever.
Like expect good. Like I'm supposed to have a good job. I'm supposed to not get sick. I'm supposed to have good health. And when things go bad, we're like, why is this happening to me? But the truth is, even if you don't believe in God, the truth is, it is far stranger that there's any order and any good to begin with.
It makes a lot more sense. You start with chaos and disorder, and you realize through going through this to organize and to collaborate and to like it kind of evolves into that direction.
Well,
so that way for survival and growth.
Look at the rest of the animal kingdom.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just chaotic and survival of the fittest and
just death and destruction.
Well, think of the paradigm shift, right? If you think and by the way, again, the Bible will tell you that that the nature of man is bad and the nature of the world is broken, right? But take that aside. Don't even look at that. Again, look at order versus chaos. Look at entropy. If I leave this table out here for 1,000,000 years, it's not going to become a better table. It disintegrates and it falls apart. So when you realize that the nature is bad and that good is actually the blessing, now you go about your day, and instead of being like, yeah, I'm supposed to have a good job, you're like, oh man, I have a good job. Or I'm not sick today. Like everything becomes a blessing that isn't bad. Now you start to see all the blessings in your life versus feeling like bad stuff's just happening to you because you think everything's supposed to be good.
I mean, just like you said, take the esoteric part of it out. I think it's just a better way to live, period.
Totally.
I mean, even if you're not religious or even believe any of that, it's like believing or at least thinking that way, I think that serves a greater purpose for sure.
100%. Yeah. All right, we're going to talk about AI because I love this concept.
Oh, good. I had some AI stuff too.
So I'll tell you what. I'll tell you a little this story that I read, this article, and apparently this is happening, and it's like a bit concerning. So there's not a personal story for me, but this woman told a story. She's a therapist, and she was talking about how she had a couple who needed marriage counseling from her, and they were married, 3 kids, everything seemed fine. The husband started to become more and more distant, and so the wife's like, something's going on. What's happening? He sat her down and had a conversation with her, and he said, "Listen, honey, I think we should open up our marriage to a third person." And she was like, "What? Who is this person?" And she said,
AI.
My AI girlfriend.
God. Oh.
And the wife laughed because she thought he was joking. Yes. Yeah. She thought he was joking. And the husband was 100% serious. He goes, "Look, I talked with my AI girlfriend about this. She would like to be a part of our marriage. She'd like to be a part in raising our kids. I'd like to include her."
Shut up.
Yes. And this is happening, dude. This is happening right now.
I want to see that person. I just feel like I want to see the person who gets manipulated by AI like that to present that. Like the character. That person's got to be a character.
Yeah.
That's a reality show waiting to happen. Or these people.
So
wild, dude.
I know. You guys don't think that's going to happen more and more as AI gets
more
realistic?
Yeah,
of course.
It's definitely going to do that.
Of course, we're infancy right now, bro.
Yeah.
It's barely even. It's only going to get wild. I'll tell you something else. Speaking of AI stuff, have you guys seen? I think it's China that has this. The AI robotic legs.
No.
Oh my God, Doug, pull this up. This is so cool.
This is Xiaomi 17.
Oh no, that's something else.
different.
Yeah, that's something else.
Is this robotic legs for people? Like,
so it's like you rent
prosthetics?
them. You rent. I think they at the bottom of this like popular hiking mountain is one of the places they rent this, and you put it around your waist like this.
Oh,
and
like
you
an
just-
exoskeleton?
Yes, and then you just go walk, and then the AI figures out your cadence, and then you basically turn it
Matches
on.
your gait and pattern.
Yes,
Wow.
and you can make it a full-on sprint or just assist your walking, dude.
Hey,
and I watched the guy doing it.
It's like your own Sherpa,
Dude.
how bad would you want to hack your buddies?
Yeah.
Make them run around.
I mean, the video I watched of the guy
Jumping up.
testing it out, there was two guys testing it out for the first time, and they were just, you could see the look on their face like, I'm not using any energy to move.
You know what's crazy is that
What?
these devices should be for people who are paralyzed, but what's going to happen?
Bro,
Everyone's gonna
I
be
know,
lazy.
right?
Bro,
Yeah,
you
it's
understand
all
that this is
performance
literally,
enhancements.
okay, we've been saying this already about Wall-E. This is another version of that. I mean, this isn't the, like, there's some right there.
getting something else to do the work for you.
Wow.
That's actually the guy I saw using it. That's not the same video, but that's the guy that I saw using it. Can you turn it on?
It's like you have superpowers.
I know.
That sounds, I mean, I'm not going to lie.
You wanna hear it?
I know. Yeah, I do.
wanna try
Yeah. I want to try it too.
Let me see.
Listen to these guys. They're
in China.
Now I will teach you.
Okay, teach me.
Oh, now I will teach you how to change the model.
Okay.
I will show you. Eat and here. You can try.
This is going up.
Yes, it's going up. Upstairs? Yes, upstairs.
This is an assisted robot to help you walk up and down stairs if you have any sort of knee problem. Look, the robot is like shooting my legs into the sky. I'm putting zero effort into putting this going up.
He's not putting any effort.
None.
It's walking for him.
Bro, it walks for him. The original one I saw him do was when he first puts them on, which is even better because it's just flat ground, and you see him like turn on for the first time, and he's like, I'm not moving my legs. They're just moving themselves. But it learns your cadence. So your stride
Your
length,
gait.
your gait, everything. So it matches to that. So it doesn't, you would think
We're just
originally
gonna
when
be
I
a pile
thought,
of mush.
I thought something like this would happen and you would be like, it's going to make people crash. And it's like, no, it's so fluid and smooth the way he describes
Again,
it.
what if somebody hacks these though? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it better have like an emergency pull button. You know what I'm saying? They can pull a string and it shuts all the power
Dude,
off.
that's wild.
But I mean,
that's crazy,
come
man.
on. Decondition people. I mean, if these get relatively inexpensive, you just slap these on. You just forget riding around scooters in Disneyland anymore. You just throw your AI legs on and then it powers you around.
I was having
Crazy.
such a great discussion with my buddy and his wife on AI, and she has friends who are who work on AI directly. They're in high positions here in the Bay Area, and she said every single one of them is very concerned with AI. Is very concerned. Every single one of them is like I don't know if I want to do this or be a part of it. I'm afraid.
Oh God.
And so the question came up, well, because her husband is like, well, why are we doing this? And it's the same reason why we had the nuclear arms race. It's because the other guy, we're afraid the other guy's going
Somebody
to.
else is doing it. That's it. That's always the justification.
Yeah, and I was thinking about this. I was like, what's the best case scenario with real artificial general intelligence? The best case scenario is we make it exactly like us, except way smarter. That's terrible.
No, that's the best case scenario.
That's our bet. What can we do? Our best case scenario is to make it like us, or what? Like, what could we possibly do? That's so. We're gonna end up with.
I just think of things like this, like okay, even okay, this because this is such a
Which is not
simple
good.
thing. It's what $1,000, Doug.
Yeah, you can get an Alibaba.
we can buy some.
We can buy some. We could get as many as we want, and we can have them
Okay, so
customized for
Can
money.
I just feel like, and
From
imagine
Alibaba?
this
Dude.
tech is still relatively new.
Just
But
explodes.
think about somebody who has a labor job that like you normally an 8-hour day taxes you and you're done. Like now I run a 12-hour day, no problem because 50% of the or less than 50% of the work I'm doing. My exoskeleton is running the rest. Like, it changes the game for a lot of different things, dude. And then again,
help your friend move, no problem.
I can see that, or like stilts. Like I at the house, they're remodeling. They're doing the sheetrocking, and on the ceilings, they got the stilts and everything. They get it done in like a fraction of the time.
What do you mean stilts? They're standing.
Yeah, stand on stilts, so you don't have to do a ladder.
I've never seen that.
You never seen that?
It's way more.
No, that's cool.
Way more effective. Yeah. This one guy actually like didn't have the stilts, and so like just took buckets and like tied like these ropes around, and was just like doing it with one hand. It was pretty impressive, like skill.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I've seen that before too.
Who
Cool.
had the soccer game incident?
So my niece, this is the first time I've actually been able to go up, because they live in Benicia, and so they're like far in the East Bay, and like I was able to kind of go up and watch because they were in San Francisco area, and so I went up to watch, and I'm hanging out with my brother and having a good time, and we're watching the game. It's just this girls' soccer, and it's a pretty elite level, so it was competitive, but like they were just. It was not a great game for her. They were getting beat. It was like 5-0 or something. And the reason I bring this up, because there's an incident. Like, so this one girl on my niece's team was kind of, fighting for the ball and was getting a little bit physical and kind of shouldering, and they were both going after it. And then the ball kind of goes out of bounds, and, the play's kind of over. And this girl was really frustrated with the other girl that she was like, being a bit physical with her, literally just stops, open hands, and hits her right in the face, like so hard,
dude. Smacks her?
Just smacks, like literally assaults her, like in front of the whole crowd. Where I literally jumped up out of my chair, out of the bleachers, and was just like, what? Like, because it was just so unnecessary.
People didn't rush the field or anything?
Completely just like threw me off.
Out of the game, and that's it.
It's just like obviously has like some kind of psychological issues or something, dude. Because I was like, who does that, dude? Who just like, might as well just been punching her in the face for no reason.
Wow. What did the other team? Did they do anything, or did everybody just kind of shocked?
Everybody was shocked, and the ref gave her a red card, and she kind of had to leave the field. But yeah, exactly. I was like, dude, and he was telling me, like, this league, there was another incident where some girl, like literally picked up another girl and then, like, ground and pounded. And
what?
I was like, this is, like, girl soccer? Like, I didn't realize it was so violent and aggressive like that.
It actually brings up a really good value of sports, is it teaches kids to be very competitive, but also measured,
composed,
and within the realms of the rules.
Yeah,
which is, if you think about it, you guys think about how valuable of a skill that is in life.
100%.
It's such a. It's why we. Did you see the forum post with Jen Cohen's thing
about sports?
Yes.
No, I didn't read.
Oh my gosh, dude! It's so. You know why it's so funny to me is I have the kid that probably won't play sports, and I'm not offended by that.
Yeah.
It's like. It's not a shot at you as a parent that you're a bad parent because you didn't put your kid in sports or whatever. But it's like, it's more so sports are such an incredible teacher for life. So many, I can't think of a single thing that has as many lessons as sports does for life for a kid in an individual. I can think of a lot of things that you can do to try and which is what I'll have to do, right? I'll have to create a lot of these scenarios to teach my son the same things that he would organically get from playing sports. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it makes me a bad dad because my kid doesn't like to play sports, and I'm not going to force him if he's like doesn't really want to. So everybody on there got so knee-jerk reaction of like, this is a terrible mind pump take. It's like, calm the fuck down. Yeah. It's like, it is what it is. There's plenty of research to support how beneficial sports are for kids' development and all these life lessons.
It teaches them, because we think of it as just physicality. Oh, it's exercise. No. It teaches you how to win, which is very valuable in life, to learn how to win and be humble. Mm-hmm. Teaches you how to lose, which is just as valuable because you're going to get your butt kicked in life. Teaches you how to work with other people. It teaches you how to be measured and play within the confines of the rules, which in life, like I said, like that girl that you just talked about, Justin, imagine you're at work and you're competitive with your fellow, and with fellow, coworkers, and you're competitive and you're losing and you don't learn that skill. So what do? You cheat or you gossip or you use politics versus.
Or you sabotage just so you can win. Yes. You do things that are,
that's right.
Unethical.
That's right.
And being able to regulate your emotions. I feel like it's
very important.
I don't know that gets highlighted enough. We're so polarized, and like the algorithm is really dictating a lot of people's reality right now, to the point where it's like, dude, step back and assess yourself and like how emotionally volatile you are right now. Like, this is a real problem.
I mean, I wonder what exactly would have it'd be really interesting had I not found sports, what I would have turned out like. I think that I definitely,
it saves the life of a lot of troubled kids.
That's what I mean. I think it saved my life. Yeah. Like if because I tell you what, my parents weren't probably feeling that. If had I not done sports, I don't know if they would have had because they were young, had the awareness to fill those gaps. Where I think about that, I'm a 40-something-year-old dad, and I recognize my son's not into sports at all. So it's like I'm trying to find these lessons in playing Uno and find I think I really actively have intent going into those things. Like, okay, I need to show him when he loses to be like this. When we win, we do like he's got to learn those lessons. It doesn't have to be through sports, but just sports is as a parent who's busy, who works, who does a lot of things. Sports are such a nice,
easy way to put it.
Yes, it's an easy assistance. You know what I'm saying? Like your kid comes back home from a day at practice and something happened, and you as a dad now have an opportunity to go, oh, so tell me about it, and then I can teach right there. Versus I didn't have to go take him to practice. I didn't have to go practice with him for an hour, 2 hours. Like I can have him in sports and allow sports to be that catalyst for those conversations. And if you have the opportunity, it's such a great thing. Now, granted, some kids don't. I get it. I got one. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't make me a bad dad because he doesn't want to. It just means I have to really be intentional. I have to be thoughtful of like, okay, how am I going to teach? Yeah, although that I definitely learned through sports because I absolutely was. I definitely lost a lot. I got to win a lot. I was leaders on some teams. I was a bench rider on other teams. Like I mean, I've got a whole host of emotions. Yeah. I know it's like the politics, right? You know it sucks being the man and then somebody's son to the coach.
I sat an entire season out. Baseball was arguably one of the better players. Like I had been on a lot of all-star teams, but because of the new coach who had worked with, all these kids that were a little bit younger, and they had, all worked all spring and everything else. Like they had a tight unit. It was just because of that fact. Like I didn't get to play. Yeah. And I had to sit and endure that. And my friends left. And it's like, that was such a lesson for me that you're not going to get fair handouts. You're not going to get a fair opportunity all the time.
That's right.
And you got to fight
how you handle it.
You got to handle it emotionally. You got to handle that rejection. You also have to find the lesson in it and see where there is I can improve on my own regardless of this coach is not giving me anything.
What a great point.
Oh, that exact point. I've talked about it on this podcast before. You remember I told you when I was 26, one of the most frustrating points in my career was I'm on year 5 or 6 in a row of being the top guy in our company, for what I did. And to still be overlooked for promote. At that point, I've already promoted 8 different leaders underneath me. I had all the accollades, all the trophies, all the things.
Supposed to be next.
I should have been the next guy, and I was my guy, and I had a leader above me keep me in that. I remember this moment. This is what made me become a big reader. I wasn't a reader at all before that, and I remember having this talk with myself and going, I had this moment of I was feeling like a victim that I couldn't believe that I've been overlooked. This is bullshit, anger. Right. And then I had this moment I realized I went, wait a second, why am I allowing a company dictate my growth? Because my boss isn't promoting me and pushing me up. I could go around him and grow other ways.
Yes.
And that's I became this voracious reader after that. And you know what? I never got promoted in that company. Didn't happen. I moved on to other things, but it served me so well to be able to endure that in a time like that and not just play the victim role, be angry, don't do anything, sit on my hands. It was okay, there's another way for me to keep growing. I'm going to figure that out. I don't know if I figured that out if I hadn't had similar experiences in sports as a kid.
I don't know if I would have either.
I got to tell you guys, he's almost 5 now, right? My 5-year-old, I had taken him to some martial arts classes to watch about 6-7 months ago, and he didn't want to do it, which is okay. He's young still. So he's he didn't want to get up there. He didn't want to do it with everybody. So I'm all right, I'll take a break. Yesterday when we're walking to the park, and he's talking about, those books I told you about, which animal would win?
Yeah. I still haven't got mine. So maybe we could change it in order.
It sparked this conversation. So first he's what would win in a fight, a rhino or an elephant? Starts there. And then he goes, what's the best fighting style? And I'm like, huh? I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, well, and he starts naming like, what does jujitsu do? What does karate do? So we're talking about like the different things.
He's so smart.
So then he goes, so I said, do you want to read a book on the different fighting styles and what they do and which one's the best? He's like, yes. So I'm like, oh my God. Because if he gets into it, it'll be so great to start because he's right around the age, he's young still, right? Because kids can start later. But I can't wait to get this book. I got a whole book on the major fighting styles. I can't wait to read it with him and explain what they do.
It's so awesome that he's into that. He has attention for that.
Oh, it'll be, I mean, if he gets into wrestling or judo or jiu-jitsu, those are ones I love.
Yeah.
That would be so exciting for me to
Dude,
watch.
that'd be so
Those
awesome.
are the only sports that I can help him with.
That'd be so
The
cool.
rest of them,
the fact that he's interested already is massive, I think. Because even if he's not going to do it right now, the fact that he's curious is probably going to spark that.
So I got this big book coming in the mail right now.
You know, I have a bone to pick with Doug. So just because
right at the end,
I believe, I'm not letting this podcast hang up without me picking this bone right now.
Please, yes.
So
I know what you're going to bring
up.
So we both brought this up.
So Doug was quick to fact check me on my rattlesnake facts
through AI.
Rattlesnake
lies again.
Yes, rattlesnake fact, and I was like, damn, I could have sworn.
What was the fact?
So remember that I said that baby rattlesnakes are more dangerous than big rattlesnakes
they squirt out more venom,
and that was the logic was that, and so it's partially true.
Right.
But Doug quickly looked up and then it denied me. I was wrong. I was wrong. Blah, blah, blah. So here's why. So big, full-grown rattlesnakes do what's called a dry bite, where a lot of times they will just bite someone to warn people off. And so many times a rattlesnake bite like that, you won't even get venom. They're just kind of warning you like that, where a baby rattlesnake doesn't have that.
They don't have the regulation.
They pour all of it in whenever they hit you. So there's the real. So yes, baby rattlesnakes are still more dangerous than full-grown rattlesnakes. Like I told you before, I was fact-checked on this podcast.
Yeah, wasn't this somebody from Texas that wrote in and explained that? Right?
Yes, yeah. Somebody emailed in. I forget what their qualifications were, but it made totally sense because I knew.
Yeah, this is a ICU and ER doctor in Alabama.
There it is. Oh, Alabama.
Yeah. So it was like, I was like, I know I learned this before. I know, and I grew up around rattlesnakes, and so we were so taught to like watch out for those babies. You know what I'm saying? Because of that, and now it makes total sense. So it's a dry bite, is what they call.
I'm going to shout him out as David Page.
Thanks, David
Page. Thank you, Dave.
Thanks, man.
Thanks. ZBiotics is a pre-alcohol probiotic drink that has been designed specifically. In fact, it's been engineered to break down something called acetaldehyde. So what happens? You drink this, then you drink your drinks with your friends, and because none of the acetaldehyde, or far less of it, gets absorbed through the gut, you feel way better. You guys, this is a game changer if you like to enjoy a night out with your friends. Take ZBiotics with you. Go to zbiotics.com. That's zbiotics.com/mindpump25. Use the code mindpump25, get 15% off.
Our first caller is Carla from New Hampshire.
Hi, Carla.
Hi. How are you doing?
Hi. This is so weird. I can't believe I'm on this side of the screen. You guys are amazing. I love your podcast and all of the information you put out. So I just want to say thank you for that.
Thank you.
So I'm just going to read from my email, and then I do have an update for afterwards. So my question is, how do you know you're overtraining if you don't have the classic symptoms of overtraining? More specifically, am I overtraining? For context, I'm a 21-year-old female. I'm 5'9", 160 pounds. And this question originates from my first official cut that I ran the beginning of this summer, so a couple months ago. Prior to cutting, I was intuitively eating and strength training over a 2-year period. Over those 2 years, I gradually gained 20 pounds without realizing it. I got up to 180 pounds. One day I looked in the mirror, decided enough was enough. So I started to track my calories and go into a cut. So my maintenance was about 2,200, and I got down gradually over a 5-week period to 1,700 calories. And then I started a reverse diet. During that cut, I lost 20 pounds. And I was still reverse dieting when I sent in this email. I got up to 2,600 calories without gaining any weight.
Wow.
My question, I'm asking my question because during my cut, my strength plummeted. That's why I ended it after 5 weeks. However, my strength is just now returning to where it was prior to cutting after a couple months of reverse dieting. So my strength is increasing, but the progress is painfully slow. I was also fatigued every day despite getting good sleep and eating what seemed like enough food. Every workout was just a fight to get to the bare minimum. I work second shift 4 days a week, and I am still a college student. Am I working out too much, still not eating enough, or is my work and studying affecting my body and recovery more than I realize? And then for additional context, when I sent in my question, after sending in my question, I started another cut. My strength started to improve regularly. So I went down to about 500 calories, so about 2,100 calories. That's where I'm currently sitting right now, 4 weeks into the second cut. So I'm seeing fat loss in the places that I want. However, again, it's going very slow. I know I need to continue cutting to lose the fat that I want. However, it's the 4th week and I'm pretty hungry. And I don't think I can continue cutting anymore to get to where I want to be. With all this said, how do you go about cutting and bulking in a way that doesn't destroy your strength, but also allows you to lose fat? And then when bulking, to minimize fat gain and maximize muscle growth.
Awesome. First off, you're doing a great job.
Yeah, great context.
You're doing a really, really good job. I love the fact that you reverse dieted up 900 calories, didn't gain a pound.
Right.
That tells us that your metabolism's in a good, healthy place.
But you built some muscle.
You built some muscle. There's some things that you want to consider whenever you go into cut. Training volume, people tend to do the opposite of what they should. They tend to increase the training volume while they're in a cut, or they try to maintain the same amount of volume. You're going to almost always lose strength, even if you don't lose any muscle in a cut. Now, this doesn't always happen, but the longer you've been lifting, the stronger you are, the more likely this is to happen. Just less energy, less glycogen in the muscles. Central nervous system drive is not as strong. I mean, you could see this when you bump your calories and then suddenly you're stronger, by 5 pounds in a short period of time. So that's one thing to consider. So what you don't want to do is bump up volume in a cut. And if you are feeling fatigued during the workouts, then reduce the volume of your training, regardless of what it looks like. Because sometimes what we do is we look at our workouts and we judge based off what we think we should be doing versus what's actually happening. So you are a student, you do work, and then you're also working out. I'd like to hear what your workout looks like at the moment. Like, how often are you strength training?
Are you following one of ours?
So I bought Anabolic and Performance a while ago when it was like a bundle deal. I pulled like aspects from those programs as well as kind of like a MAPS 15 style. So I strength train 4 days a week. It's about 40 to an hour minutes worth of a workout. And then I try to run or sprint once a week. But again, I just don't always have the energy to do that. So, and I do get about 10,000 to 12,000 steps a day.
So what you're saying is not bad, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
There's this weird misconception that like, well, I'm only strength training 4 days a week, or, some people do it 6 days a week. Most of the time, the volume looks for most people like 3 days a week, most of the time. And then you'll have these kind of short sprints. Like, I like 4 days a week for you when you're in a bulk. I like 3 days a week for you when you're in a cut. Is kind of how I would work it. Throwing in sprints in there also adds another element of stress to the body. So I think the volume is probably too high. Like, if you're going to follow MAPS Anabolic, follow it.
You could also do less of a drastic cut when you go to a cut too, which will also help a little bit. So you don't have to, you just accept that the progress may seem slower because you're not doing such a drastic cut, but you'll probably feel better. You'll recover better. You'll probably sleep better. You won't have as much of the hunger pains by feeding yourself just a little bit more and hanging around closer to maintenance than actually a true cut. We tend to encourage these mini cuts or mini bulks because psychologically it's easier for people to be like, okay, I'm on a bulk right now, or okay, I'm on a cut right now. But honestly, where you're at in your life, you've got so many other responsibilities that are really important that it's like probably just hovering around maintenance and eating good choices. So eating whole foods, hitting your protein intake, and then following a good program that's appropriate volume, which like in a MAPS Anabolic or maybe a MAPS 15, I think you're going to see a nice exchange of losing body fat and building muscle.
Yeah. Are you, so your height and weight is not bad at all. Do you know what your body fat percentage is?
I don't. I've never done a DEXA scan. I've been wanting to get like the body pod scale, but it's just not in the budget right now.
Okay.
And I also listened to one of your guys' podcasts saying that that's also not one of the best metrics to measure like progress.
Yeah, no, it's just to give a kind of general idea. I think you're doing great.
Yeah,
I really do. I think what Adam said is good. If you kind of coast like that and feel good, your body's going to just recomp over time, slowly. And here's the thing too, when you go in a cut, especially if it's somewhat aggressive, 600 calories, 700, you're going to feel hungry.
Yeah.
Like that's normal. Yeah. It's normal to be like, ooh, I'm because your body's starting to tap into its own energy reserves. But I do think the volume is probably too high right now. I think if you cut it down, I think you would start to see some good progress.
If you're doing this modular approach where you're kind of cutting and using the MAPS 15 style in between, I'd like to get you MAPS 15 performance. So you could, on some days you could stack and do like a more 30 to 40 minute workout, or some days do your 15, just so you have better options with that. So you can kind of draw up your week a little bit more effectively.
Okay. And would you guys say that like, I'm not quite sure how to word this, but like, is cutting and bulking like a good, like,
good strategy?
Yeah. Or would you say like
I
going
think,
more maintenance and kind of cruising, hovering there?
If you were my client with everything you have on your plate and as good of a job as you've already done, you're now in a place where I'd be like, you know what, let's hover around maintenance and let's do MAPS 15 type of a protocol and hit your protein intake, eat whole foods, try and lift and be strong, and watch what happens. And I think that
if your calories were really low and you've just dieted real hard and you have all these other symptoms, I'd reverse diet you. If they were super high and your body fat was really high, I might cut you. But Adam's on point. I think you're better just kind of
just feeding.
Yeah, staying around. Yeah, like you're probably around 2,400, 2,600 calories. And just kind of staying there and enjoying your workouts and feeling good and going to school and getting stronger and just letting your body recomp.
Okay. I had a feeling that's what you guys would say. But again, I just kind of wanted that guidance on that. So thank you.
You got it.
Yeah, you're doing good. Doing great.
Yeah, you're doing great. We'll send you the 15 performance so you have another program you can pull from.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You got it. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you. Bye.
I love it when young people call in with good questions and are doing a good job.
As I say, I love when I hear a girl that age get down 20 pounds, reverse diet, like
doing it right.
Yeah, adding all the way up to 2,600 calories and not putting a pound on the scale. So awesome.
Here's what's more often what a young woman would do. She would cut, lose 20 pounds, and then stay down there being afraid of, and allow her body to just really
ramp up the activity more. And, added cardio now, and now I'm cutting even lower. And no, definitely. So it's great. She did good.
Our next caller is Leon from the UK.
Hey, Leon.
What's going on, Leon?
What's happening?
Hi, guys. Okay.
How can we help you?
Yeah, I'll read through my question. I'm a massive fan of the show, having struggled to make a difference in my own weight and physique for a long time. Subscribing and listening to your podcast over the past 18 months has changed my life. I started listening in March 2024, and my Spotify wrapped up stated I was in the top 0.5% of listeners for your show last year.
Nice.
A little bit addicted. Put it that way.
Love it.
I am slightly obsessive in nature. I can absorb a lot of information very quickly. So in the journey, I believe I've got a good working knowledge of training. And during the sessions, I started getting approached in the gym and asked how to train specific body parts. I'm slowly becoming happy with my own physique, and that's thanks to your very unselfish approach to the advice you give. So thank you very much, guys.
Awesome.
Question in particular, my 17-year-old son sometimes trains with me, but constantly complains he's not seeing any progression at all. He's a typical teenager. He eats crap, drinks cans of Monster, and doesn't hit his protein goals. He's fully aware of what he should be doing, but he's a typical teenager. But aside from that, he has fantastic technique in the gym. He trains regularly, but is diagnosed with hypermobility in his joints and ends up having to go into abnormally deep stretches in the training exercises in order to feel the muscle from working. For example, a chest press with a barbell isn't deep enough. Even with the bar on his chest, he cannot feel any strain or stress on his chest. With cable flies, his shoulders are rotating about 30 degrees further backwards than mine. Plus, because of the depth of the hypermobility, he does not feel any muscle connection and often complains that the targeted muscles is not worked at all during a movement, which is the case for his chest and for his back in particular. My concern would be lifting heavy weights, and due to the having hypermobility, this could cause more damage to the tendons and in his joints. But that's just me surmising. And with this in mind, should he focus on lighter weights and higher reps, or can he train for hypertrophy? Does he have any specific training? Do you have any specific training advice for someone with hypermobile joints? Are there any tips you can give so he can feel a better connection to the muscle when he trains hypermobility?
Leon,
great.
So glad you wrote in.
Yeah, great.
So glad you wrote in.
Great question.
Training someone with hypermobility goes against all of our typical advice.
Yeah.
Okay, so typical advice, full range of motion, get a stretch. Do not do that when you have hypermobility. With hypermobility, you actually want to shorten the rep. Okay, you want to stop his reps short of what his potential is. So a squat would not be all the way down. It would be like an inch or two below parallel. You would pause for 2 or 3 seconds at the bottom and then come up. You're trying to create tension throughout the whole exercise. You're trying to control the weight. But again, the reps are short. So our barbell is perfectly fine. In fact, I would not use dumbbells on a chest press with him because he's going to bring them way down and way up. The bar is going to give him a nice place to pause. So with every exercise, stop the reps short of his full range of motion, have him pause at the bottom for 2 seconds, then come up, pause at the top, lots of control. If you do that, he could train for hypertrophy, he could train for all these different things, but you got to shorten the reps because if he goes to his full range of motion, what happens, he loses control, which is part of the reason why he has hypermobility. The CNS connection isn't there like it should be, and you definitely can cause problems.
Yeah,
on the dumbbells in particular, he's going so deep that it just looks abnormal, and the worry is something's going to happen, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah, don't go down that. And two, when he gets to the bottom, like he said, really pausing and squeezing and tensing up. That's the whole work for him, is really to, gain that kind of access and control. So to recruit. So basically in any one of these exercises to really like take your time with the tempo and have them really gradually kind of go through that eccentric phase and then hold the isometric a little bit longer. I would even go through a phase of very specific isometrics just to really generate more muscle recruitment because that's the challenge for him more than anything. And then once he kind of like, gets a little bit further progressing with that, I would go through like the full range.
So I was going to ask, do you guys think that he would be great for symmetry because of the first two?
Not because the unilateral would not be a good idea.
Dumbbells,
and the hypermobility would not be a good idea. But
so then just run something like an anabolic, but then every exercise you do, instead of doing the traditional, 5-6 reps or like that, he's going to do 2 reps, but then with long holds.
Yes. He can even do the 5 reps. It's just okay. So think of it this way, Leon. So what we're trying to do is get your son's CNS to connect more. So let me explain. Typically on an, let's say you're going to do an incline press, you're sitting in the bench, you're pressing the weight up, good technique, good form. Your son is going to focus on squeezing the bar. He's going to focus on grounding his feet, activating his legs,
hard as he
activating his glutes. He's going to try and be tense through the exercise, which is going to feel strange and hard for him, okay? You're going to stop each rep short of full range of motion. You're going to pause, not because he's resting the bar on his chest, but he's holding it and hovering it there and staying tight and coming up all the way. Another thing you could do with isometrics, because
press immovable objects.
Yeah, because of your lack of, because you're not a trainer. Here's something easy, Leon. Take the compulsory bodybuilding poses and have him practice them. Have him practice a front double bicep and having to flex his quads and his abs at the same time. Have him practice a rear double bicep, but also squeezing his glutes and his cat, just like a bodybuilder would on stage. Learn, and it's just have him practice that at the beginning of a workout or when he's on his own. Side tricep, front lat spread, rear lat spread, like side chest. All of that's going to help him, his CNS, learn how to connect. And then you cut the reps short.
Yeah.
Stay tense. And
that actually applies.
100%.
Yeah.
And then I think you already know why he's not seeing the results with the chems. If he's not hitting his grams of protein and eating what he needs to eat, like he could get better at training and we could work on the CNS regardless of how his diet is, which that's all positive and can help and at least work towards the hypermobility. But if he wants to see visual change, he's got to get that protein. At least and really with my young kids, I really just stress that. Like, you're not going to get a teenager to not eat a candy bar, have like, I'm not even messing with that. Like, go ahead and have that, but just hit your protein.
Get the protein.
Just get that protein. And that alone will make a huge difference in the way his physique will start to look.
Do you have safeties by chance on your squat rack?
Say again, sorry.
Do you have safeties on your squat rack by chance?
Yeah.
Okay. If for bench especially too, if you could put those safeties up a bit in the bottom position so he pushes against it. So
it doesn't move.
It doesn't move. Like, if you can set up, you know, like so it's optimal in some of these lifts, even with the squat as well in the bottom position. If he's pushing up against an immovable object, you know, this is a huge way that he can recruit muscle fibers, and so that's a great technique to apply.
Very, very special attention to form. So what happens with hypermobility with those kind of isometrics is they'll push into something and their form will just go out the window. And they're rounding their back and they're trying to, and so he's not going to be able to push as hard as he can because it's going to cause things to move out the way. The other thing too with this, Leon, is you know your son better than we do, okay? The most important thing is that he develops a good relationship with exercise because he's only 17. So even if he does it wrong for the next 3 years, if over the next 3 years he's like, man, I love doing this with my dad, this is a good time, or what, that's gonna give him way better return down the road. So it could look like this, like, Dad, why am I not seeing any gains? And you laugh. Come on, you eat like crap, you know that. All right, let's do the workout. Like, it's it.
That's it.
That's
all
it.
The time. Yeah. You hit your protein? No.
Yeah.
He knows I'm going to ask him.
And you joke about it. You joke about, you knucklehead.
He'll come around.
Yeah. Even if he does nothing right for the next 3 years, all he does is just enjoy hanging out with Dad and doing these workouts. His odds of doing this on the rest of his life go through the roof. Yeah. If he's doing it with you and you become that dad that, like, you know, there's some kids that like grow up playing soccer, they're really talented, they stop playing. Why'd you stop playing? Man, I hated the way my dad was with me, or, you know, made me feel like I had to, or, you know, beat me. Like, you don't want to create that relationship, even if he's just doesn't listen to you at all for the next few years, which, by the way, that's not atypical for a teenager. They typically don't listen at all to us. So
well, you're going through with your daughter right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, he tends to be listening on the training. We do a session together, and he'll say, "I can't feel it. I feel no. I just feel he feels nothing in any of his muscles." I'm saying, "How can you not feel it? Your technique looks fine.
Yeah.
Everything seems to be going well." And obviously, you guys saying the pauses are important now make a huge difference.
Yeah, and also look, here's the other thing too with a kid. They usually don't feel it. They usually, you know what they'll feel? Arm exercises. Maybe like leg extensions. Like, I didn't feel my back or my chest for years.
Don't you guys think that he will benefit more from like a phase 1, so lower reps with long pauses and heavy weight, than he will with high reps? Because high reps is going to keep him in such a light weight. So I would keep him in like the 3 to 5 rep range. And in the 3 to 5 rep range, there's a pause for at least 3 to 5 seconds with every rep. So that's what every set looks like.
And you're going to pick a weight he can do perfectly.
Yeah.
Okay.
And see,
perfect.
Yeah. See,
you got to do. With hypermobility, it's all central nervous system training. Think that. Think the whole time. Train the CNS. Train the CNS. Train the CNS.
Recruit.
The muscles will follow.
Okay.
And Leon, I don't know if you know that we have this, but if you go to askmindpump.com, that's our AI. And so if you type in, what do the boys think about hypermobility or training hypermobility, you'll see everything we've talked about regarding that, but in the past.
I've used it for something else. I didn't think to put hypermobility into it. To be fair. I can't think what it was now. A few weeks ago, I put something else into it, which was quite useful. And then the reverse dieting element, that's quite good because that came up a few weeks ago as well in one of your shows. So that answered my other question, which is how to do reverse diet at my age. And you've already answered that. That's really useful.
Perfect.
Awesome. Cool.
Thanks, man.
Right, you got it.
Appreciate the help, guys.
Hey, can we send you a program?
Yeah. What do you guys follow? What do you want to follow?
I tend to do my own. I actually really enjoy making my own because
all right, you're good then.
Challenge. I like the challenge.
Okay.
But can we give you a program that maybe you can learn from or pull from?
Give him Maps Anabolic. You should have at least foundational.
Yeah,
program.
Maps Anabolic would be good. We'll just send you that. That's our foundational program.
Yeah, appreciate that, guys. Yeah, thank you.
You got it, mate.
All right.
Awesome. Have a good one, guys. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I only ever say mate to an English. I don't know why it just comes out.
It makes me uncomfortable.
All right, mate. Yeah. You know, so for trainers from a programming perspective, you're probably never, I don't want to say never, but if you train for a career for years and years, you will eventually run into a hypermobile person. You might not. That's how rare they are. Yeah. But when you do, it's weird.
It's weird.
It's weird. I had
two clients like that.
I've had less than a handful.
Yeah. And I had a woman that was like that. And she was literally my test dummy because I was like, I don't know what to do here. And I remember having to really think about it. Yeah. And then we started doing what I was saying here. And I finally saw progress because hypermobility or tightness or whatever, that's all central nervous system. It has nothing to do, it's not the muscles that are tight, or it's literally the CNS. And so getting somebody with hypermobility to get stronger is literally about getting their CNS to learn how to fire.
Yeah.
The fact that he's got really good form is a good sign because a lot of times they look like a baby deer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The way they move the weights and stuff like that. So if he's got good technique and form,
it's hard to control.
100%.
Yeah, it's like 100%.
Yeah,
it's Gumby.
The first time I remember her dropping down the squat. I went, whoa! I thought I was gonna have to catch her. You know, so yeah, if he's got good technique, that's a good sign. Add those isometrics in, but then of course, got to hit that protein if you want to see that muscle gain.
Our next caller is Tyler from Kentucky.
Tyler,
how you doing, Tyler?
What's going on?
No, not much. How y'all doing?
Good.
You're doing good, man.
Good. So yeah, I guess just jump right in with the question and all.
Let's go,
dude. Let's go.
All right. So quick version of it is I'm 35 years old. I've been training mostly CrossFit style and a little bit of like powerlifting style since about 2015. 2016, I got put on testosterone replacement. I was 26 years old. So stayed on that for years. Had great results with it, had a relatively easy time, getting my body to do whatever I wanted, gain muscle or lean out, whatever. Well, wife and I decided we want to try for kids. And of course, TRT makes an amazing male birth control.
Yeah.
So cycled off October of last year. Numbers have been okay. I think last time I had my blood work done, I'd gotten back up into the 400s for total test. But basically I'm still feeling super beat up all the time, super tired. Workouts take, obviously way longer to recover from. And it's also harder to get my non-exercise activity up to help with fat loss. So, had some weight gain and all that. That's really not pleasant, especially because I work as a trainer. So really just looking for any kind of help and guidance in how to attack training, because essentially what I'm trying to do right now is do a cut on hard mode.
Yeah.
Sal, are all doctors, it's so interesting because sometimes I hear this with people that are on TRT. It's like it's 50-50. Some of the docs would not even take you off TRT. They just throw HCG into the protocol. And you on, I got Katrina pregnant on testosterone.
So did I.
Just doing, and so did
my wife, though, not Katrina.
So,
that sounded like
they got real awkward for me.
Yeah. So you absolutely. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I mean,
that's interesting. So
my hormone specialist said, "Oh, don't even worry about it. You'll be just fine. We'll add some HCG to the routine every week, and you'll be just fine."
I wasn't even trying to get my wife pregnant because of the HCG. She got pregnant. So my question, okay, first off, is back up. You got on TRT at 26.
Yep.
Okay. Previous anabolic steroid use, what led to that? Or was it just?
Nope, I didn't do anything like that. When I started reading up on it afterwards, at the time I was on the max dose of Vyvanse. So like
that's an
amphetamine stimulant. They also had me on 20 milligram Adderall booster. So I was methed out of my mind.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I was also on gabapentin to help me sleep. So like my brain, like my body never went into that, parasympathetic state to relax and, recover.
Did you get a fertility test back then before you went on?
No, I did not.
So you don't know what your baseline was?
No, I have no idea what my baseline testosterone looked like. I have no idea what my baseline fertility looked like.
Okay.
Now, the good news is my fertility has come back in spades.
Wonderful.
HCG will do.
Yeah.
Wonderful, dude. And you're on HCG now?
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, I'm on HCG and Clomid.
Yeah. Okay. So I would ask my doctor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Again, I'm not a doctor, so I have to say this.
Yeah.
The ones that we work with, they don't take us off. They don't take guys off testosterone. They just put them on HCG, and then they get. The only time they would take someone off testosterone is if they're really like something's not, but you've already got your fertility up. I'd be surprised if they wouldn't, consider it. That being said, if you're staying where you're at, you don't take more testosterone. You're like, look, I don't want to mess with this. I really want to have a kid, which is more important, in my opinion, as a father. You just got to reduce the volume, brother. You got to cut the MAPS 15 is going to be your workout. Yep. And you'll actually start to see progress and gains. So you just got to drop the volume way down, and you'll get the progress again. The challenge for you, Tyler, is that your reference point was you on testosterone for years.
Your recoverability was a lot higher back then.
Yeah, so what you're going to go through, and this is probably what you struggle with or wrestle with, is you look at your workout and you're like, it's not that much volume.
And you feel probably a lot weaker.
Yeah, like what's going on
weaker, you're not recovering the same. And so psychologically, it's a bit of a mind fuck. But truth is, you run MAPS 15 and you stay off, you're fine. I mean, there's really two, I think, viable options here. There's the stay off if you really want to. I think you could totally get back on and just run HCG.
Ask the doctor first.
Ask your doctor, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So, in fact, you can actually get into our MP Hormones forum on Facebook and post on there and see. They'll talk. Everyone's talked about this in there many times, and so that's that. Either stay on it and do that. That's one option, or reduce down to MAPS 15 and stay off, and that alone. But be okay with the fact that everything is going to come down. I mean, when you're used to being on TRT and then you come off, like you're significantly weaker in everything.
Yeah, and especially if you're down
and you don't recover as well. You don't recover as well, and you're weaker. So it's just part
what
of
was
the
your
game.
dose when you were on TRT? If you don't mind me asking.
I was usually around 0.4 mLs like every 3 to 4 days.
Okay, so you were like 180 milligrams a week. So your test probably went from 1,200 total at time. Yeah, is that what it was?
So whenever they would do the blood work on me, I ran anywhere between 800 to 1,000, kind of depending on when it was relative to the last injection.
So your testosterone's half.
As of now it's half, and I'm also still rebounding because in November I went down to 50, like it was non-existent.
Oh yeah. So you're at about half. That's definitely going to have an impact. Talk to the doctor. If they're like, nah, we don't want to mess with anything, your fertility's doing well right now, cut the volume way down. Here's the other side of this though, Tyler. Let's say the doc's like, yeah, I think you're safe going back on testosterone now that your fertility's up. We're going to keep you on HCG. Don't increase the volume either.
Yeah.
Stay MAPS 15.
Yeah.
Stay there, and because the volume will naturally increase because you're going to get so much stronger. When you add weight, that's more volume. So, because another mistake guys make is they'll go on TRT like, cool, I'm going to triple my I'll triple my volume. Don't, just keep it where it's at. The other thing I'll recommend is a couple things you can use that may augment or support your HCG would be Tongkat Ali, ashwagandha, and then use and then red light therapy on your
balls.
Yes, on your testicles. I mean, no, I'm not even joking.
I know you're not. It's just funny to hear it said out loud.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say it. I was trying to think of the word to say it. It didn't sound fun.
Can I say more scientific?
Because I think I may be in a good.
Yeah.
Wife come home like, what the hell are you doing? Don't worry about it.
Getting ready.
It's making you a kid. Hang tight.
Well, so I mean, basically, I feel okay saying this here because I don't think I know anybody who follows the podcast as well. But my wife has her 12-week appointment this week, so you did it. Basically, at this point, so I did it. I went from firing blanks to going all in, but. So now it's just kind of figuring out like, okay, when do I, working with the doctor to figure out when do I go back on testosterone to make sure we're like in a safe place in terms of like miscarriage risk.
Yeah, good job, dude. Congratulations. All right, here's what it may look like, and I'm just going to tell you this so you have more questions to ask and maybe a little direction. Hey, doc, I'd like to go back on testosterone. I don't want to come off HCG. I'd like a maintenance dose of HCG to keep my fertility up, and then I'd like to test my fertility in a couple months to see if there's been an impact. If so, then I'll come back off the testosterone, or if it looks good, I'd like to stay on it. And what they typically do with men who want to maintain fertility is they are on testosterone, and then they run a small maintenance of HCG the whole time.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. The only thing I'm thinking about also is, like I said, right now, my main goal through all this is because, I'm really trying to get the ball rolling as a trainer, made a career jump. So I feel like in a lot of ways, my body is my advertising. So I really want to focus on hanging on to the muscle mass I've got and losing some weight. And of course, part of that has made that tricky is I've got the energy loss from being off the testosterone. So if I cut my calories and increase my non-exercise movement, I'm wrecked.
No. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Stay at maintenance. Okay. Stay at maintenance. Follow MAPS 15. Yep. Focus on getting stronger, and you'll recomp.
And if you want, pick up your walking. Walk more. Yeah. Make a conscious effort to increase your activity on a daily basis, not through hard cardio, but through just activity, walking, moving around, doing more.
And you'll love MAPS 15 for this too, Tyler. You're about to. This is your first kid?
Yeah, this will be first and possibly only, but we'll see.
Yeah. You're gonna have to figure out low volume for a little while because kids are very, especially in the first 6 months. Your wife's gonna need you for the first couple months at least. Yeah. So you'll love MAPS 15, bro.
MAPS 15
That's gonna be your program that you're gonna turn to all the time, and you'll progress on it. It's not like I'm gonna drop down. So you'll see yourself get stronger following that.
Yeah.
Sweet.
We'll send that over.
Cool. I appreciate it.
Yeah, good for you,
and then
man.
also use that MP Hormones on Facebook group because really useful with a lot of the stuff that we're talking about right now. So just poke around in there.
And you want what are you looking for? Boy, girl? Does it matter?
I personally don't have much of a vested one way or the other, but I'm like convinced it's going to be a girl.
Oh, God bless you, dude.
I don't know. Like I had someone several years ago said like, I see you in so many years with a girl. And like, so ever since then, like, it was just like, if I have a kid, the first one's gonna be a girl. So now it's like, it's just set in my head.
Hey, can we follow up with you again in a few months just to see how you're doing? And because I'm also curious, I want to know what you're having.
That's great to me.
All right, dude. We'll reach out to you. We'll have our assistant set you up for like 3 months from now. So you should know by then. And we'll talk a little bit about how's it going.
All right. Awesome. Love the content, and I'll look forward to talking to y'all again.
You got it, man. Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
So glad he told us it worked.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, man, I hope this really helps.
So why? Okay,
I don't know, bro. Old school.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Because, I mean, I remember when I first brought that up to Dr. Rand, he kind of laughed at me. He's like, no. He's like, we'll just add some HCG, you'll be fine. And then he explained to me how they don't compete or conflict with each other at all. It's like you can literally have the high testosterone levels and then your fertility goes down, but you take the HCG and it just brings the fertility right back up.
I'm not a doctor, okay, but from what I understood for interviewing these experts and looking at the data and all that stuff, you have old school hormone therapy methods. Mm-hmm. And the old school methods look like this. Oh, you want to have a baby? We'll take you off testosterone, and then we'll try Clomid, and then we'll add HCG, and it's like this process of like whatever. And the way that the guys and girls now do it, the hormone specialists that do it now, is they're like, we're not going to touch Clomid. We're just going to go HCG. Don't take you off TRT, and that works 90% of the time.
Yeah. I remember testing too, like it's quick.
Fast.
It's like within days after.
Oh yeah. And you can see and feel it. One of the reasons why sometimes men will take HCG on TRT is also because some guys get testicular atrophy. And so just to maintain the aesthetics, they'll do it. So
our next caller is Alicia from Minnesota.
Hi, Alicia.
Hello. Alicia, how you doing?
Hi.
How are you?
Hardcore fangirling. So this is really cool. Thank you for having me on your show. I know everyone says it, but I really do appreciate all that you guys do and all of your advice. And you guys is like going back and forth with each other is really entertaining as well. So thank you.
Thank you so much. You're so lovely. I appreciate it. How can we help you?
Okay, so I'm going to get right into it. I'm just going to kind of read what I wrote. So it was around 2014 when I became aware of like weight on a woman and like what's attractive. I started struggling with like yo-yo dieting and losing and regaining weight repeatedly. So over time, that kind of chipped away at my confidence. I hated taking pictures, hated looking at myself in the mirror. So fast forward to 2024, when my boyfriend of 4 years, we were having dinner, and I mean this in like the best way, because he said it out of love and he said it like with caring, and it wasn't like to diss me at all, but he looked at my plate and he was like, man, you've been eating a lot recently. So it just kind of stuck. And then I was battling like pre-diabetic, I lost my mom to breast cancer about 15 years ago. So when he said it out of love, it really like clicked. And I was like, I really need to like do something and like get this into motion because it was going downhill kind of fast. And so around this time, I got into what's Beachbody by Autumn Calabrese, this 21-day fix program, and it worked like 10 years ago. Lost weight for like 3 months, but then I would, go back and forth. And so I did that for about a month, and this time it wasn't working. But God, luckily, he was looking out for me, and I ended up finding a program based on like consistent habits, nutrition, and community. And so after a year of work, I'm down from 221 pounds, 43% body fat, to 179.4 pounds and 32.6% body fat.
Awesome. Great job.
Thank you. So now that I'm at like a comfortable weight, I love taking pictures. I love going out and getting pretty and everything, going out for date nights. I'm also helping other women and coworkers as well, kind of on their journey too. So I'm ready for my next chapter, which is building a nice round peach butt. So I ended my deficit around August. And so I'm wondering how to start this new building phase. So my question is, what's the best way to transition from a deficit to like a maintenance surplus after a long-term cut? Kind of like what my macro balance should be for like booty building. And is there any specific glute-focused workouts you would recommend?
Yeah, we'll take care of you, Alicia. Yeah. I'm just going to, God bless you. I really appreciate the way you communicated all that and the challenges you went through. And it sounds like you're in a great place. And I'm going to give you some of the answers. I'm going to send you a program that I think is going to help. We're going to talk about your calories and macros, but I want to remind you, and I think this is what you're kind of figured out, is that all train the right way, all the good results, all of the, I'm picking the right exercises, I'm treating my body right. It all flows from caring for yourself in a genuine way. It doesn't flow from the self-hate or the, where you're criticizing yourself.
Our insecurities.
It all comes from, I want to care for myself. I want to care for myself in a genuine way. And if you stay there, the rest of it starts to take care of itself. Okay. So I think a good program for, how many days a week do you like to work out?
So I like 5. I try to do 3, but I find that when I go down to like 3, even 4, I'll skip a day, miss a day. So being consistent Monday through Friday helps me be consistent throughout the entire week.
Okay. Do you have our Muscle Mommy program?
I do not. I have heard you guys talking about it, but I thought it was just for moms, and so I'm not a mom.
No. Muscle Mommy is a term that refers to women who like to build.
I'd say half the group of women that are in the Muscle Mommy group are not moms. A lot of them are young women that want to build muscle. That's really what it is.
Okay.
It's just the woman that wants to build. So
you would love that group, by the way.
So if you go, I'm going to send you the link. It's musclemommymovement.com. You get a trial to go in there. Here's why I like it for you. You get the program in there, so you'll get the workout program.
Okay.
And now, not everybody in there follows that program, so it really doesn't matter what program you follow. Really what it is, it's a group coaching community. So once a week, our coaches and trainers get in there and help guide and assist you through this process.
And we have special guests like Dr. Gabrielle Lyon, who's speaking in there tonight.
She's
talking
in there tonight.
Talking about women's hormones and helping, so it's an incredible community.
So I'm gonna send you that link. I think that would be great for you. You'll get some of that guidance. You'll get that program. I'll give you some general advice, but I think the guidance in there will help the most because they'll be able to modify it as you continue. Do you know where your calories are at now?
Yes, I did write that down.
All right.
So my goals, which I'm not sure, this is what I gathered for myself. So my goals is to be at 165 for protein, carbs at 230, fat at 77, and then calories around 2,300. But I've been averaging, last week I was out of town for a wedding, so it kind of threw off last week. So I did the last 2 weeks. It's my protein's been between 148 and 169. And then my carbs have been between 214 and 243. And then my fats have been kind of high between 81 and 85. averaging around 1,800 to 1,900 calories.
You're in a great place.
You got it.
Great place.
Yeah, no, what you think you should do is perfect. The 2,200 calories. Yeah, just do that.
Yes.
Follow Muscle Mommy program. That's a great strength training program with emphasis on glutes because women tend to want to build the glutes. And I think you're going to be great.
You may want to, and I would, get in there, start the program first, but you may even be able to afford, since the goal is to build our butt now we're trying to build, so maybe bumping the calories 150 to 200 calories. So, but get in there first, start the program and run it for a week, see how you feel.
And I like your starting place.
Yeah, you're in a great starting place.
Your targets.
And your macros are great balance. Like even your fat, you thought that's not high fat, that's good fat. That's a good amount. In fact, it's one of the number one mistakes I think my female clients that are wanting to get in shape do is they think, oh, go to cut the fat. And that'll work against you. So you're in a good place.
No, the targets you gave were fine. Were perfect. The 2,200 calorie, I think that's a great start. If you were averaging around 1,800 calories, that's perfect. Just do that, and then your gauge is your strength. If you if you're getting stronger, you're probably building muscle. Okay. Especially on your exercise like hip thrusts and squats and deadlifts and stuff like that.
Muscle Mommy is heavily focused on butt. So you're going to love it. Yes.
Okay. Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Excited for you.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm excited. Thank you so much.
All right.
Yeah, and we hope to see you in there. We pop in every once in a while. So.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, Alicia.
Thank you. Bye.
Love when people can go through and be honest about the journey and how they felt and whatever. And she sounds like she's in a great place. She's going to do really, really well.
Yeah, really good place. I mean, she did so well on her own getting there. And I mean, I love to hear when someone does their macro breakdown and I'm like, yeah, right there. That's such a good
And I love the comment you made, the point you made about fat, Adam. I know what you look up online, like, 50 grams of fat, maybe 60 grams of fat. Most women I've ever worked with did not do well in the 50 or even 60s.
Yes.
Fats are essential, and women in my experience, tend to need more as a percentage. Their hormones in their skin and their hair and everything else tends to do.
I can't tell you how many times I had a client and all we did was bump fat 20 grams, 30 grams.
And then
boom. All of a sudden just felt amazing, hair, skin, seeing results. Like, yeah, I think there is a total misconception around how low of fat that women need to be eating, and I think it does a lot of more harm than good.
Absolutely. Look, if you like the show, come find us on Instagram. We'll see you there. Mind Pump Media. All right, I know you liked that episode. If you did, check this one out. Walking, it's one of the best things you can do for your health, bar none, but there's a better way to approach it. Yes, you can just walk, but if you follow the right protocol, it's far more effective. Let's talk about walking.
I can't wait to hear your walking protocol.
Well, there is. There is a protocol. So, and I'll start with the first thing, right? Because just first off, let me start with this. One of the reasons why walking is such a great form of just activity is because it's low risk of injury. Now, some